A prayer is very important in our life since it is the most uh, intimate way of someone interacting with God, seeking help and guidance from Him. And we always need that help in our life, no matter how powerful, how mighty, how wealthy we could be, but we are human beings. I recall a very beautiful tale from a Muslim scholar, a 8th century Muslim scholar who once was asked how come he does not spend more time in social events and conversing with the friends and fellows. And he says, I am taking my time with my Lord. And when they ask him, how? What do you do? He says, when I want to talk to God, I engage in a prayer. I pray. And when I want God to talk to me, I read the Quran because we Muslims believe that the Quran is the actual words of God. So I'm either talking to my Lord or my Lord is talking to me. The ultimate goal of prayer is not to move your body, rather than to make your soul be engaged in that relationship. Moses was passing by a man who prayed for so many hours. And Moses asked God, how come he would not listen to the prayers of this guy, individual, who have been praying for so many hours? And God told Moses that this guy is praying, his body is praying, and his mind, his soul is not with me. It is with his sheep. That's a very telling lesson that when we pray, we need to engage everything in us in the prayer. It is not only the body moving, bowing or prostrating, standing up or sitting down. It is the spirit, it is the soul of the human being that has to join this movement. It has to focus on the prayer.
Prayer is an essential part of Islam. What follows is an instructional lesson on how to perform the Muslim prayer. In these demonstrations, you will learn preparations for prayer, basics of the 5 daily prayers, recommended prayers, and prayers performed in special circumstances. Prepare for prayer by being spiritually focused and physically clean. This focus involves clearing your mind and heart of distractions. In addition to this, you must also prepare yourself physically to stand before God. Wear clean clothing and observe general hygiene. What follows this preparation is the washing called wudu. This required washing is comprised of the following actions: intention, washing the face, washing the arms, wiping the head, and wiping the feet. Before beginning wudu, remove anything on the face and hands that may prevent water from reaching the skin. This includes a watch, a ring, makeup, or anything which would act as a barrier over the skin. For washing the face and the arms, you must take water at least once. It is recommended to take water twice, but prohibited to take water 3 times. There are 7 ways to invalidate your wudu: passing of urine, excretion, passing gas, menses, sleeping deep enough to restrict sight and hearing. However, if your eyes are closed but you are still aware of sounds, the wudu is still valid. When you lose sensibility, such as insanity, intoxication, or unconsciousness, janaba, or ritual impurity, and, as a recommended precaution, every state which requires ghusl, or ritual washing of the body. Begin by washing your face. In your right hand, take a handful of water and pour over your face, beginning from the top of your forehead. Continue wiping to the bottom of your chin. You must cover a width that is at least the span between the tips of your thumb and middle finger. Within this span, it is mandatory that all parts of your face are washed. For men with facial hair, the water must reach the skin if it is visible through the hair. Otherwise, washing the facial hair is sufficient. In your left hand, take a handful of water and begin with washing your right arm. You must wash your arm from above the elbow to the tips of your fingers. Be sure to also wash between your fingers. After completing the right arm, take water in your right hand and perform the same washing for the left arm. For men, it is recommended to begin by pouring water down the backside of your arm. For women, it is recommended to begin by pouring water down the inside of your arm. You must wash in a downward direction. Your hand must move from the elbow to the fingertips. Moving in the opposite direction will invalidate the wudu. Using the base of your right palm and ending with the tips of your joined fingers, wipe from the top of your head down to your forehead. For this step, you do not take water in your hand. You use the moisture remaining in your right hand to wipe your head. The moisture must reach the scalp. However, if the hair is short enough that it cannot be combed, it is sufficient to wipe the hair. Again, using only the moisture in your hands from the previous steps, wipe your feet from the toes to the ankle. First, wipe the right foot with your right hand, followed by your left foot with your left hand. When you are unable to perform wudu, the alternative is tayammum. Perform tayammum instead of wudu during these 7 circumstances. Not enough water is available for wudu. Obtaining water for wudu will endanger your life or property. Using the available water will pose a health risk. Washing your face and hands with water will pose a hardship because of thirst and endanger your life or that of your dependents. Water is available, but you do not have permission to use it. Time is limited, and there is a risk that performing wudu will cause the time of prayer to pass. If the body or clothing is najis or ritually impure, and you possess only enough water to purify it. Tayammum is performed using earth, sand, or stone, which must be dry and clean. First, strike the palms of both hands simultaneously on earth, sand, or stone. With palms together, pull down from the top of the forehead to the bridge of the nose. With your left palm, wipe the back of the right hand from the wrist to the fingertips. With your right palm, wipe the left hand in the same way.
Muslims believe in the 5 daily prayers. The morning prayer, noon prayer, afternoon prayer, sunset and night prayer. These are mandatory prayers that every Muslim should perform in his or her daily life. And now, why it is very important for a Muslim individual to pray 5 times a day? Because we believe that this is how we connect with our God. In other words, these prayers are the utter manifestation of our relationship with God. I always tell my audience, my people, that if we Muslims, if we do not pray 5 times a day, what does manifest our faith as Muslims? We fast once a year and we go to Mecca once in our lifetime. The thing that makes our faith so visible and our connection to God is so intimate is our prayer. I believe that the 5 daily prayers would connect us directly to God. It would instill in us the need for us to seek help from Him, and also purifies our heart. The Prophet gives a very simple example. At the time when there was no running water at homes, there were no private bathrooms at homes, people had to go out and wash themselves in rivers and oceans. The Prophet says, if someone has a river next to his house running, and he would go into that river 5 times a day and he would wash himself, do you think that there will be any filth remains on his body? And everybody answers, says, no, of course no. The Prophet says this is what prayer does to you. When you immerse yourself in prayer, the prayer would purify your heart. Islam emphasizes praying the 5 daily prayers congregationally, if you can. And if you can't, for any reason, then you pray them wherever you are. There is so much emphasis on praying congregationally with other people, simply because Islam is a religion that emphasizes socialization between Muslims, for them to see each other, to be connected to each other, to talk to each other, to communicate with each other, to know about each other. This is a very, very essential part of our faith, to reconnect with other people. When I reconnect with other people, I will definitely find out who is in need so I can help, who is sick so I can go and visit, who is absent so I can pray for them to come back safely. This is part of the connecting process.